I'm not even going to waste your time. I just want to know, what does Ududuzile Zuma have to say about this? They made her apologize, okay, a few weeks ago. And now Floyd Shivambu is inside Bushiri's church in his personal capacity, they argue. But does that change who Floyd Shivambu is, his leadership, his role, his public perceptions? But let's listen to Bushiri speak, okay? And then let's go after that to the Minister of Justice. And then after that, I guess I will read to you what Umkhonto Wesizwe, the party, has to say. And we'll conclude this video with, where did Jacob Zuma go? See, the thing is, they both went to church. The question is, which church did they go to? Let me go ahead and play these clips for you. Please make sure you stay till the end, because this is a developing story.
And this evening, we are also privileged to worship together with one of the great and wonderful man I know who loves Africa and support African affairs, religion, and more especially, he loves God. And he is also a businessman, a politician, a family man. And tonight he is with us. I'd like to recognize your presence. This is a wonderful man, Floyd Shivambu, all the way from South Africa. Allow me just to ask you to wave the church. Thank you for being here and praying together. We had a wonderful, fruitful conversations area to discuss different affairs and different things. You know, we have people who have different ideologies in different things. We have people who believe if you're a white person, you are an investor. And if you're a black person, you are corrupt. Men like Floyd believe in supporting Africans, encouraging people who are doing well, supporting them. And I'm so happy to have wonderful men like him in South Africa and in Africa.
We had to issue a statement, and see, this is one of the rare moments where you issue a statement about the conduct of an individual activities. But the issue with Mr. Shivambu is that he's just not an ordinary South African. He's a leader within the political system of South Africa, and we do believe that followers do follow what he does. They will believe in what he does, and we appreciate what Umkhonto Wesizwe, as a party that is represented in Parliament, has been able to do to distance themselves this, because we can't afford South Africans themselves to undermine the rule of law, to undermine their own justice system, and go and promote a foreign national in another country. You leave South Africa as a South African to go and undermine your own country in another country. That's not patriotism. And surely for somebody like Floyd, whom I've known for years, I'm really disappointed. It's uncharacteristic for somebody to really forget about their own country, to go and do something else that undermines the very nature, the fiber of his own society and country in another country.
Does it matter,
for the benefit of an
does it matter, however, that, I mean, Floyd Shivambu, and while one may agree that he certainly is a prominent member of a political party within the country, a clear opposition party as well, but he isn't part of the cabinet. He isn't part of President Jacob Zuma's, President Cyril Ramaphosa's government of national unity either. Does that matter? Does that increase his freedom, so to speak, in a case like this, where it doesn't matter as much because he isn't actually part of cabinet?
He is a secretary general of a political party that is represented in Parliament. So that's the fact. When a political party participates in a democracy, and that's what I'm saying, I appreciate what Umkhonto Wesizwe as a party have done, because it shows that they understand the importance of the rule of law. They understand the role political parties play in upholding the systems, the democratic systems in the country, because tomorrow we can't play foul, we can't come and cry that the systems have collapsed when we have, as individual leaders, have collapsed those systems. So he does have a responsibility. As a leader, you don't just have only leadership. When you assume leadership responsibilities, you have obligations, you have responsibilities that you do. And that's why speaking out, because we understand that they are followers. And at the time we issued a statement, Mkondo Sizwe had not yet issued a statement. So we were worried that even the party's members might think this is the right thing to do. A fugitive is a fugitive. You can't want to distance, to associate yourself with somebody who has run away from the law.
Yeah. Does this, do you think, embolden Pastor Shepherd Bushiri?
I do. I think so, because I watched what he said in the clip that he praised Floyd, which he posted on his social media. He argues that South Africa is pursuing black investors. He's not an investor. If he believes he's an investor, he must come to the South African courts and answer these charges that he has.
Yeah.
Because we do believe that there's a case for him to answer. Otherwise, NPA would not have gone to court. Now, he makes a comment that we believe or we praise white investors at the behest of black investors. That can be correct. You have a person who is not even a South African, who has the nerve and audacity to insult us as South Africans and our own systems as a country. And you have a South African leader sitting there clapping hands. That can be accepted.
This is the statement that Umkhonto Sizwe released because, hello, Floyd Shivambu is there in the Malawi with Bushiri waving hands as Bushiri insults the South African law, and Floyd Shivambu is there smiling, super, super happy. But, the Justice Minister, she says that Bushiri must come to South Africa to answer to his charges, but he has the nerve and the audacity to insult us, talking about, white man is an investor and a black man is corrupt. Floyd, let me tell you something. I predict that there's going to be a lot of interviews with Floyd. I almost said fraud. With Floyd upon his return. But here's the statement. It says, media statement, 19 April 2025. Umkhonto Sizwe party distances itself from Secretary General's visit to Shepherd Bushiri's church. The Umkhonto Sizwe party, MK party, wishes to categorically distance itself from the recent visit by our Secretary General to the Enlightened Christian Gathering, ECG, church led by the self-proclaimed prophet Shepherd Bushiri in Malawi. The party wishes to make it unequivocally clear that this visit was not sanctioned, endorsed, or initiated by the leadership or any official structure of the MK party. The Secretary General undertook this visit in his personal capacity and without the mandate or knowledge of the party. Oh my goodness, is he then going to sit? Are they now going to sit and look through the Constitution and then see that nothing in the Constitution actually prevents him from doing this? What is going to happen? Listen, I wish I was a fly on the walls of Julius Malema. What is he saying right now? Also, Ututuzile Zuma, I want to know what she's saying, but let's continue listening. Let's continue reading. The statement goes on to say, the Umkhonto Sizwe party upholds the rule of law and maintains a zero-tolerance stance on criminality in all its forms. When in an unprecedented case, President Zuma was sent to prison without trial under the Roman Dutch law, he did not flee from justice, but was incarcerated and served his time, even though it was a miscarriage of justice and a violation of his human rights. We remain firmly opposed to any association with individuals who are fugitives from justice. Our values are rooted in integrity, justice, and accountability, and we reject any actions that compromise the reputation and ethical standing of our movement. Furthermore, the MK party strongly condemns all forms of gender-based violence and the exploitation of vulnerable communities, especially innocent Christian believers, by individuals who manipulate faith for personal enrichment or to evade justice. Our party stands with the victims of such exploitation and will never align itself with those who use religion as a shield to defraud, abuse, or mislead the public. We reiterate our commitment to ethical leadership and the principles of justice and We call on all members and representatives of the MK party to act in a manner that reflects the highest standards of responsibility and accountability. And then they end with, the contact details for Ndlela. You know what? We should contact them. Okay, I think we should call them. And the number is 2790233345 and ask, hello, what's going to happen to Shivambu upon his return? Because he's there smiling. Okay, he's smiling. He's smiling with the fugitive, waving to the Christian crowd. Does that mean that Floyd Shivambu, he stands with, what does it say here? Individuals who manipulate faith for personal enrichment or to evade justice, or exploitation of victims in defrauding, abuse, or misleading the public. I mean, this is a whole Secretary General, okay? This is a developing story, but let's continue listening to the Justice Minister. She was not done.
Does Floyd Shivambu then have to face some sort of recourse or any kind of disciplinary action or the like? Not because he's a member of cabinet, not because he's ultimately even a citizen that holds political office of the country ultimately, but only of a political party itself. Is there any kind of recourse that ultimately he faces off the back of this, or is this going to have to be handled by the MK party?
We will leave that to the political party that he belongs to. From a government system and legal framework, we can't charge him, we can't do anything. And that's why we are issuing a statement to say we have a responsibility as leaders to uphold the rule of law, but to promote justice within our country, to ensure that people from outside South Africa don't continue to undermine our country because they think that is a banana republic where everybody can arrive and do as they please and go out and have individuals supporting them. We urge political parties to be on the caution, to also urge all leaders to remind them that they have responsibility, but they have a duty for all of us to work in building the South Africa that we want.
Ngingakwazi ukuvela la esontweni kodwa ke ngangibikile ukuthi kunesimo lapha esibhekene naso sibambizwe lonke ngezandla zombili manje mawusubambile awukwazi ukudedeza kufanele uhlale uphethe njalo sikwenzela lokhu ukulungisa izwe loba izwe lawo fe umuntu siyabonga.